Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna share my experience in Venice about a week ago when the exceptional high tide happened in Venice. So I was on a trip with my family to Italy and Venice was our third stop, and we didn't know anything about the high tide until we were on the train from Florence to Venice, and it was actually the Airbnb owner from Milan texting me asking me when we would arrive so that she can arrange things. And I told her that we were on the train to Venice, and she was like, "Oh, Venice, did you hear about the high tide?" I was like, "What high tide?" And she said that none of the boats were running. The day before we went, there was an exceptional high tide in Venice, which is the second highest in history. We got really worried because the boat is like the public transportation system in Venice. If the boats don't run, how are you gonna swim to where you stay?
Okay, seems that the boats were working fine. Now we need to look for line number 1 or 4.1 or 5.1 to get to where we are gonna stay.
We just got ticket for line 1. There was this young guy waiting for us at the dock, and on our way walking to the house, we saw on street almost everybody living downstairs are trying to get the water out of their home. After settling down, we decided to go out for a walk.
This is super clear. This is a watermark from yesterday's big flood.
Venice is a city where you don't need to specifically look for the St. Marco Cathedral or the plaza. You just walk in the city and you just feel it. This freshness in the air is unique. As you walk by the sea, you still feel the aftermath of the flood yesterday. We even saw these 2 boats stranded by the dock. Because the night before we arrived, it was more than just the high tide and the rain, it was a hurricane. And these 2 boats, they were raised by the high tide and blown right to the shore, got stuck at the stairs. They have been there since the night before because, when the water went down in the morning, physically it's not possible for people just to push the boats back into the sea.
This is the typical cuttlefish spaghetti.
We just had the best dinner in Italy since we arrived. We're trying to find a supermarket to buy some food for tomorrow, but I don't think we're gonna find any place open because of the big flood yesterday. On our way back home, there was a street vendor selling vegetables and fruits. So my mom bought some potatoes, which was the only thing that we ate for the breakfast of the second day. On the second day, it didn't rain at all. It was sunny outside, but when you look down, the water was already ankle high.
This is the water downstairs. It seems that we do need these water boots to go out today.
So on our way walking to St. Mark's Square, we saw more stores that was destroyed in the flood. The water indoors is like at least 20 to 30 centimeters. And all the furnitures and the things that they sell are all in the water. And you can see people taking out furnitures from their home, get it out there in the sun so that it dries a little bit. We went to St. Mark's Square. That was like the landmark in Venice. Only when we arrived did we realize how powerful this tide can be, because basically this whole square became a lake. I mean, I would understand if it was raining hard and some of the streets got flooded, you have the water till your ankle, but it was a square. We saw reporters walking in the water and policemen trying to control the scene. The government, they set up these little elevated platform wherever the water is deep so that people can walk on it and get to other places.
This is Milano, the glass island. It's only like 10 minutes boat ride from Venice.
My dad is really into glass products and Milano is very famous for it. So we ended up in this fabulous glass factory. They have at least 3 floors full of exquisite glass products. My mom was asking the salesperson if we can go take a look at the factory because we never knew how these beautiful things were made. And he showed us on the phone what the factory was like on the night of the flood. And he said, I don't think we're going to be able to open until after a week or so because there's just too much mess to clean up. And then we went to Milano, which is like 1 hour boat ride from Venice and Milano, because Milano is pretty close to Venice. It's like 20 minutes boat ride, but Milano was like further away. And I think because it's not so close to Venice, when we arrived there, we didn't feel that this town was destroyed as badly as Milano and Venice. It's lucky for us that we went to Milano because we found a grocery store open and we bought bread, egg, ham, almost everything that we need for the next day for breakfast. But it turned out that it rained for the whole day next day. When we watched outside the next morning, you saw the water gradually went up.
And the water level is almost as high as that in the river. Right there. That's the river.
You can see the men standing on a chair, taking selfies, and you see people walking in the water, and the water was up to your thigh. It was only then that we started to worry about how we can get out of Venice on the next day. We gotta figure out how the tide works so that we know when to leave the house, so that we can drag the luggage instead of holding it above our head. So I found this website and I started to track like the real-time tide information.
You see there is this red little dot blinking on screen. It shows you what the water level is like at the current moment.
So basically we had to leave at 6 in the morning because that was the lowest point of the tide. The street won't be flooded. We stayed at home for a whole day. We went out at around 5 o'clock because my mom said it's safer that we check with the dock first if there are gonna be boats tomorrow morning at around 6. Because you don't want to wait in darkness and in the wind by the sea with no boats to take. So we decided to go out. The wind was so strong that we were not able to walk to the closest dock. We had to take a detour. they said that there was no problem for the boat to work the next morning. We went to bed really early at around 9 or 10 that night so that we can get up at around 4. Luckily, we didn't have any problem getting out of the apartment on the second day. It was almost complete darkness outside. The streetlights were so dim that you barely see things. We had to drag our luggage holding the umbrella, walking in the rain and in the wind to the dock, but thank God the boat showed up. We got on the boat, line 1. It took us 1 hour to arrive to the train station, but by the time we arrived, the rain stopped. So I heard that their government has been trying to build this barrier in the water, but they haven't been able to finish it till now. I really wish that they could finish it sooner because Venice is a fabulous city. When I talk to my friends about Venice, my only remark is like, if there is only one place you can choose to visit before you die, let it be Venice, because it's so uniquely beautiful, and I don't want a place like this to be destroyed by the flood. I really hope for the best for Venice, and I am sure that I am gonna go back and visit some other time because we literally only went out for 1 day and I love the city so much. Alright guys, so this is the end of my Venice vlog. I hope that I've shown you something that you have never seen before or you have never thought of before about Venice, because it's really something that you will never know until you're there. And thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.